Behind me is a full moon, which will soon be going into a full lunar eclipse as it sets, kind of a rare experience, while at the same time behind us, the sun is already beginning to rise.
That's not possible.
So this could be a very interesting and beautiful experience.
Indeed.
What I find very interesting is I was expecting the shadow to come upward across the moon as it would go down and it would pass into shadow, and actually it's going the other way around. The shadow, as the moon is here, the shadow is creeping down across the moon, even though the sun's coming up over here.
That's not possible.
That must be because of the moon's rotation,
Lunar eclipse is very often raised as the key proof of the globe.
Lunar eclipse happens when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. That's right, in between.
But it actually doesn't help the heliocentric cause at all. First, there's the well-documented Selenelian. This is video of one that happened on January 20th, 2019. There's the lunar eclipse above the horizon, and there's the sun above the horizon. A selenelian is where a lunar eclipse occurs when both the sun and the moon are both above the horizon.
That's right, in between.
Which means there is no alleged Earth between the sun and the moon that could cause a shadow on the moon.
I am not listening, la 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 la.
That's geometrically impossible, and the official explanation of refraction is ludicrous as it causes a cascade of problems with other actual observations. Next, the shape of the eclipse is wrong. A shadow of a sphere on a sphere does not make a curve like this. You just have to think about it. A curve on a curve is distorted. Third, the color a lunar eclipse produces is reddish. Can you produce a red shadow here on Earth? No, it's impossible, and again the official explanation regarding sunsets and sunrises on Earth appearing on the moon is shockingly ridiculous. Finally, very often the lunar eclipse comes from the wrong direction, like in this video. Under the official model, the shadow should always come from the bottom and rise up. Instead, you'll often have lunar eclipse shadows come from top to bottom, again belying the globe model.
That must be because of the moon's rotation.
So they make CGI cartoons with shadow shaped like a pencil. It doesn't exist in reality. With real-life scale model, the shadow is actually 1,000 miles or 1,600 kilometers.
I am not listening, la 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 la.
Most people don't notice that the eclipse duration was 5 hours and don't realize what it means. This is the reason why I make this episode in English, to share that this kind of eclipse is mathematically and geometrically impossible on the globe model. The shadow will go outside the globe after 3 hours.
Can I ask you something, Chris? Is this only happening at the eclipse, or does those pictures with the shadows of the moon, or can that happen at any time, or is this just in the eclipse?
This is just during the eclipse. See, and that's what makes me ugly, is because I think it was Time or Now This did the NASA video, and it actually says in that NASA video that this happens normally all the time. Sunlight or light, this is a normal process. Well, that's a complete and utter nonsense. It's not a normal process. It only happens during eclipses. Like I said, otherwise the moon would do it every day, right through the forests and the trees, and the sun would do that every day. If something passed between it and the pinhole camera in a tree, and there was a bird sitting in the tree, well, then you would see 1,000 birds on the ground, right? It doesn't happen.
Indeed.
Where are we?
That's not